Jason, I want to know where you're at with the president of the United States endorsing the pillow guy. That's what he called Mike Lindell. I think the Mike Lindell campaign is one that the media has not taken seriously. The mainstream Republicans have not taken him seriously. And now that the president of the United States says pillow guy is my guy, one, how do you not take him seriously? And two, is this going to change how Republicans vote? 651-461-9226. I have two possibilities in my mind. One is that the undecided voters, which the last poll I saw, something like 20% of Republicans are undecided, that they love Donald Trump and they're going to do what he says. One of the responses I got on social media today when I asked about this is that I voted for Donald Trump, not for the Republican Party. And if Donald Trump says I'm on Team Lindell, then so am I. I think the other possibility is that the Trump endorsement of Lindell splits the crazy vote. I love you guys. I don't mean you. It's like the other people. But it splits the I don't like any elected official, so I'm voting Kendall Qualls. They get some of that crowd. Some of it because Trump said it's okay to vote for Lindell. Some of it goes to Lindell. And Lisa Demuth gets like the mainstream normal Republican. And maybe that's enough for her to win. So maybe this endorsement is helpful for Lisa Demuth. And then the other side of this is maybe it just doesn't matter because Amy Klobuchar is going to win no matter which of those three come up. I don't know. You're welcome to weigh in on all of those perspectives at 651-461-9226. Texters are saying, my son says, with this endorsement, we can all sleep better tonight. That's the Democrat perspective, I think. I do think that this is more significant than people want to act like it is. Now, Donald Trump's track record of endorsement isn't a flawless track record, but to act like it's not significant at a primary, to me, is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Let's go to my friend Andy Brem, who writes an opinion column for the Minnesota Star Tribune. He wrote about this kind of a breaking Strip Voices piece this afternoon. Andy's on CCO. Andy, what do you think about this endorsement? I do think it has the potential to be significant to a certain percentage of the primary populace in the Republican Party, don't you?
Well, I do. And first of all, Jason, good to be on with you. I appreciate it. And of course, the president is very popular in the party. He's the leader of the Republican Party, and we've seen him be able to sway primary voters in other states. So it's certainly big news. And hats off to Mike Lindell for getting the endorsement. But I think with all due respect to the president, I don't think he understands this race. And I don't think he understands what having Mike Lindell at the top of the ticket would do for Republicans, which is basically decimate our chances of winning the governor's office. And I think it would hurt us down ballot. So I think President Trump is basically helping secure another DFL trifecta, which nobody wants. So in Republicans I talk to, I haven't talked to anybody that thinks this is a good idea. So does it carry some weight? Sure. But Minnesotans have always been kind of independent and think for themselves, including Minnesota Republicans. And ultimately, I think we'll go a different way here in August.
I know there is an anti-establishment vibe both on the right and on the left right now. I just really question whether Mike Lindell has a snowball's chance against somebody like Amy Klobuchar, who already has proven that she appeals to a more moderate Republican or a corporate Republican. That sort. She's had success with that electorate group before.
Well, a couple of things. I understand people's frustration. I share it as a conservative myself in the state. But the way to express that frustration, the best way is to win elections and get some power back in state government and be able to change policies, which we've been able to do with the Republican, essentially a tie Republican vote in the state house. So that's really how we do it. I mean, I wouldn't call Mike Lindell an anti-establishment guy. I mean, he's kind of part of the establishment. He's been a leader in the Republican Party for a long time, as is President Trump. But it really comes down, I think, to his fitness. I mean, this is a guy, first of all, that's admittedly broke. I mean, the state of Minnesota is broke too, and we need somebody that can come in and clean things up. Do we really want somebody that is not capable of managing his own financial accounts? And I would agree. I think the polling shows that he has absolutely no chance against Amy Klobuchar. So this would make it a slam dunk for Democrats, and that would be very, very unfortunate for the state.
Andy, is it possible, though, that this is the real Republican Party of 2026, and you're hanging on to sort of the 2018 version or the 2014 version of what the Republican Party in Minnesota was?
Well, I'm an old-fashioned guy, Jason. So maybe
I know you and me both, Andy. I'm worried that, like, when we look at the left and say, well, the mainstream left wants X, Y, and Z, but the voters step up and say, no, we want, closer to socialism. And on the right, when you say, no, like the Pawlenty Republicans, we want business growth and reasonable this and that. And then the electorate says, no, like MyPillow guy sounds pretty good to me. I don't know. I just don't know what the voters want.
Well, I in talking to Republicans, and I talked to quite a few of them, there seems to be a universal desire to win. I mean, we really don't want to live in a state that's controlled by the DFL again. That was not a good experience. Most independent voters I talked to think it was not a good experience. And if we nominate someone like Mike Lindell, who is so unpopular that he'll drag the entire ticket down, we are going to be living in that again. So, we have Lisa Demuth, who I'm supporting. I mean, she is as conservative as anybody else. And so if you're looking for a true conservative candidate, you can vote for her in the primary. I understand that, and I share that. But really, I mean, again, we need to take this frustration and our anger at the way things are going in the state and direct it towards trying to win elections, not nominating protest candidates that make us feel good for a minute. And then November, it's, after Election Day, it's a pretty bad hangover when your candidate gets elected pretty bad.
Andy Breb, thank you so much. You can read more of Andy's thoughts at startribune.com. Let's go to Joel, who is on the CCO Talk and Text line, 651-461-9226. Especially want to hear from Republicans. Does this carry weight? Does this do anything for you? Joel, where are you at on this?
Well, it's a primary, and the Republicans could have made this a moot point had they got their stuff together when they had their caucus up there, but they didn't. And the leaders didn't even like it that they encouraged people like Lisa and everybody else to continue to run.
You think it would have been better, Joel, if Lisa Demuth would have dropped out and just cleared the field more for a Kendall Qualls situation?
Don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But she did go on the record saying she was going to support the nomination, and she isn't now. Yeah. So she's vacillated a little bit that way.
There are a lot of Republicans. She lost. That's how it goes. That's how that goes, yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of Republicans that like what Donald Trump does, but they don't like the Donald Trump personality. And most of us are about over it now. He's the president. He'll be the president, for the next 3 years we're working with. He's going to continue on. But we got to worry about the state of Minnesota that's in a world of hurt. And I think of all the candidates, Lisa's got the most knowledge of what's going on and how to get things done. And she would be the best candidate for us in Minnesota.
Joel, thank you. Appreciate it. Lots of texts coming in, calls too. Donald Trump endorses MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell. Does that, if you're undecided or if you were thinking Qualls and maybe you've been seeing that he's not raising much money, he just had another misstep the other day with kind of photoshopping somebody out of his parade photo because this guy had a couple DUIs and shouldn't have been driving. Like, just sort of comedy of errors there on again, a political party that's just struggled to put forward normal candidates. And now it's MyPillow time. Republicans, do you want to win or do you want to make a point? 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington.
By President Donald Trump endorsing Mike Lindell, who he called the pillow guy. Do you think Lindell is like, it's my pillow guy, my man? Like, get the branding right. Like, what are we doing here? Kim Marie says, first, a black woman for governor, Lisa. Yes. It is amazing to me, and I shouldn't say it's amazing to me, but the Republican Party in the state of Minnesota could mess up a one-car parade. You have got Lisa Demuth, who has been elected over and over, first black woman as the Speaker of the House for the Republican Party. She is like a no-brainer, right? And not only do they not endorse her, then the president comes and says, no, like, I'm not going to endorse the guy the party endorsed. I'm going to endorse this other dude. Sorry, Lisa. And then Lisa Demuth, within the last half hour, has to write this absolutely embarrassing statement where she says, President Trump has put America first. And as governor, I will put America first. I'm like, if I were Lisa Demuth, I would be throwing up in my mouth just aggressively. This dude didn't ask me to the prom, and I still have to say what a handsome devil is. Just the worst. The absolute worst. Texters at 651-461-9226. Rick from Cottage Grove, an outsider like Jesse Ventura won, so why can't an outsider like Lindell win? But it's still too early for me to decide. I do think Mike Lindell can win. And I do think Donald Trump endorsing him makes it much more likely that he will win. Now, the Republican Party of Minnesota has come out today and said, I mean, this is a rebuke. This is what the Republican Party chairman, Alex Plekash, said today, and basically just talked about Lindell as an absolute failure. He says, we were surprised by President Trump's endorsement. We strongly support the president and his agenda. When the going got tough under Tim Walz, Mike Lindell left Minnesota for Texas. Now he wants Minnesota Republicans to overlook his serious financial baggage, public records showing tens of thousands of dollars in delinquent property taxes, significant electability concerns, and unanswered questions surrounding his running mate. Other Republican candidates have spent years strengthening our party, supporting candidates, raising resources. You're like, oh, man. Oh, Republicans. This state hands you, the Democrats hand you fraud, tight budgets after an $18 billion surplus. And you're like, you know what'd be good? Mike Lindell. If you are an Andy Brem style Republican who called us last segment, aren't you looking at your party like, I don't know, man, like I got to move to Florida not to escape Minnesota taxes. I got to move to Florida to find like some Republicans that I could actually vote for. Because what is happening here? I don't know. Just amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. Let's go to Kevin, 651-461-9226. Kevin's in Anoka. Kevin, go ahead. What do you make of all this?
So my choice is A, to vote for the woman who said that when ICE comes up to her, she should just show her papers and prove she's an American. Or B, the guy who said he's going to start off his governorship by apologizing to police and tell them they're not being supported enough. I will literally vote for somebody with a traumatic brain injury in a wheelchair before I vote for the guy who licks the boots of police or the woman who thinks that I should walk around and show my papers anytime a federal agent makes me.
It's So I'm taking this as an unlikely participation in the Republican primary for you, Kevin.
Unless Lindell's in it,
And then you're in.
and not to mention the other guy that's in the party has spent years helping medical insurance companies earn billions of dollars while they give the absolute minimum their insurance requires for people's health care.
So you're for who? You're for Lindell, Kevin, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And
The other two idiots.
yeah. Do you think he has a chance of being elected in the general election, though?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know if he's not on the ballot as governor, I'll stay home and watch TV.
Kevin, thank you. Kevin from Anoka. I mean, isn't it interesting how, like, you're opposed to people making money for insurance companies unless, like, it's your guy who's making money? I don't know. It's all sort of nonsense to me. Phil in Woodbury. Phil, thanks for listening. What do you think, buddy? Who do you think it's going to... Does the Trump endorsement do anything for you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, here's the deal. I want to say, Jay, I haven't called in a while. How you doing, by the way?
It's good to hear your voice. I'm doing well.
Thank you, sir. I'm still alive.
Good.
But I want to say, have you ever bought a Mike Lindell pillow?
I have. It's a pretty nice pillow, I got to be honest.
Well, we got two of them, and they didn't last very long, so I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
So Lindell, well, we'll see how he turns out if he gets in.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he'll
all
last.
I'm saying.
He'll last as long as your pillows did, though. You never know.
Right. Hey, I got a joke. I got a quick joke for you.
All right, hit it.
Why didn't the elephant Why didn't the elephant ride the train?
Why didn't the elephant ride the train?
Because they couldn't pack his trunk.
Couldn't pack his trunk. Very nice. Very nice. Phil of Woodbury, everybody. Tip your waitress. Margot in Big Lake. Margot, do you want to start with a joke or do you have a take on Donald Trump endorsing Mike Lindell?
Well, I don't have a joke. but let me just say, I really was leaning towards Lisa. I really like her. I think that somebody out of the Democratic Party needs to get out of here. But I also like, Mike in a way because he just went through a lawsuit, and the settlement was, against the Dominion for that.
Right, for
polling.
the election stuff, right?
Yeah, and they both settled. They're both paying for their attorneys and their shit. So
You can't say that. The stuff, you got to say stuff. There goes Margot. It's too bad. Like started on a nice direction. So here's the challenge with Mike Lindell, and there are going to be voters who are attracted to the fact that he fought the system, that he said the election is rigged. Tomorrow, Donald Trump is probably going to come out and say the election was rigged, and here's his evidence in this primetime speech. And the problem that I have with all of this is that this has nothing to do with Minnesota. This has nothing to do with our problems. This has nothing to do with our solutions. This has nothing to do with making our state strong. And so what are we doing? Why are we wasting our time with this sort of rah-rah national conspiracy theory, elections are rigged, blah, 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 blah? Would I like to watch a debate between Mike Lindell and Amy Klobuchar? Yes. I do think if I'm Michelle Tafoya, I'm the biggest loser of this endorsement. Because if Mike Lindell becomes the nominee, that makes it that much harder for Michelle Tafoya to get elected as a Republican senator. And I do think Michelle Tafoya has a chance. It's hard as a Republican to win statewide in this state. It's been a long time. But Michelle Tafoya, I believe, gives a decent chance for a Republican win there. But if you got Lindell and Tafoya campaigning together, picture the campaigning at the state fair. Lindell and Tafoya, or Lisa Demuth and Tafoya, Kendall Qualls and Tafoya. I think Qualls has a lot of problems, too. It's sort of amateur hour at that campaign right now, and there's not much time if you're a Republican for that.